We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud, the most extensive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
All right. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. It is the Free for All Friday. We're all in line. I've got you in mind. If you got the SHTF, what you need to know about, it just gets crazier. Every day gets crazier. What do you do, though? The only thing I can figure is you've got to get prepared. And I know you guys know the litany. And then you've got to, you can't just wake up. You've got to take action. The fight is in front of us, folks. It's no longer off in the periphery or that way. It's not that guy's problem way over there. It's all becoming all of our problem in our own front yard, right in our lap even. But, you know, people keep snakes as a pet. People feed wild animals. They don't realize how dangerous it is until, well, something goes wrong. You get bit, stung, kicked, boa constrictor around the neck, right? Then they're like, oh, geez, I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought I was being careful and smart. Yeah, well, here you are. Shit has hit the fan. Government's out of fucking control. And we're going to talk about it right now. But this is Free for All Friday, meaning we're going to shotgun it. I'm not just going to do my 30-minute monologue. We're going to do some John, some of you. Some more John, some more of you. Some good John, some great you. So get your questions down below for Mr. Uman. And Uman, of course, I always enjoy your particularly dry sense of humor and exquisite taste in finding really shitty things going on for us to discuss that are they're not a onesie twosie anymore. Remember how we used to have a little bit of silliness over there and oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Now it's everywhere. So they serve as examples of not what's just happening in California or Illinois. It's happening across the whole country. It's not just Portland that's lost its fucking mind. It's New York and everywhere in between. So let's start rolling on this. We commonly talk about the two-tiered justice system. There's rules for Democrats, which is say and do whatever the fuck you want. And then there's rules for Republicans, which is don't make us mad or we'll make up rules to come and get you with. Okay, there's two sets of rules. And Democrats are being encouraged to commit acts of violence and acts of terror. Do you think that back in 2020, when Antifa and Black Lives Matter were burning down cities, do you think that was terrorism or protesting? Yeah, we know the fucking truth. If that had been Russians burning down our cities, do you think the federal government, the state governments, the city government, do you think they would just sit back and let it happen? You know what it was? It was bullshit. It was every fucking racist coward out there and every racist, race-baiting scumbag pushing the race card, trying to say, if you object to us committing acts of terrorism, arson, murder, looting, then you're a racist. Folks, quit being afraid of being called a racist. There is nothing you can do to avoid that term. Be like one of these white liberal idiots out here. Drop on your knees and take a fucking knee before them. You think they're going to forgive you? Fuck no. But they'll be satisfied that you kissed their ass. You think they're going to give you a teabag crowning of joy? No. They're just going to teabag you and laugh. No amount of guilt or shame on your part will make these racist, race-baiting, race card-playing sons of bitches go away. All they have is bullshit. Now, having said that, I'm going to launch into the first article / story / SHTF. Look out, here it comes. So get your questions down below and you can be next. Ooh, man will either be giving me the thumbs up, we're ready to roll, or waving me off saying keep going. But I cannot not start with this bit of news that came out. If you remember back in 2020, we had an election that was stolen. So into 2021, the beginning, there was a lot of people questioning the election results, the way the votes were tallied. Everyone was objecting to everything. That's how blatant, bad, and shitty it was. And it all got shut down with that bullshit insurrection J6 crap. But still, in certain states, like, I don't know, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, other places, the election continued to be questioned. So I think it was up in Michigan, folks, Michigan, an election official for the Republican Party for the 2020 election, this election official received a death threat. Someone threatened her 14-year-old daughter by this election official, folks, Republican, had a letter sent to her with a picture of a dead terrorist. And she threatened, she told her, hey, this is what happens to bad people. This is what happens to terrorists. This is what happens when you cross us. This is what happens. Essentially, it was just letting her know, your daughter. Now, this same person, doxed, revealed the name and address of this election official. All of these things are serious crimes. So it turned out to be a woman that did all of this. And she has finally gone through the court process and she has received her sentence. She was found guilty of threatening a public official, death threats, threatening a 14-year-old girl with death. Now, other people who have made similar threats, committed similar crimes, got years and years and years of jail time. But despite, folks, these other cases and the extensive jail time that they received for threatening election officials, this year, Caitlin Jones was sentenced for her crimes of threatening election officials, threatening the lives of others. She gets to be sentenced to 30 days in prison. And if the prison cannot meet her health needs, whatever it is, I guess she identifies as, she will serve her sentence in a federal medical center. Oh, so she's got some medical issues. Medical issues. Wow. 30 fucking days, folks. What this is tacit permission from the judicial system in Democrat jurisdictions in and around big cities, in and around state capitals, in and around election, shall we say, headquarters. You can do whatever you want to Republicans. You can say whatever you want. You can threaten them all you want. You can reveal who they are and where they're at. You can send letters to their daughter and tell them, right, the daughters of officials, the sons of officials, and say, if your classmates who are black found out that your parents are working against the Democrats, you just might be in trouble. That's fine. Unfucking believable, folks. 30 days in prison. And we need to do everything we can to accommodate this person's medical needs. But if you're a January 6th protester who was either shot with rubber bullets, shot with tear gas canisters, beaten with fucking clubs, and had flashbang grenades thrown at you, blowing up around you, causing hearing damage, right? If you want to, you're going to jail for fucking ever because you happen to be at a place where the federal government wanted to attack people. Unbelievable. It is the Friday free-for-all, folks. Let's wrap the week up. Let's talk about anything from the week. And I'll even entertain predictions for the future. What's going to happen next week? What, after we go through all these stories that we've been going through, what do you see coming? And Sunday, this Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to kick off a hell of a show, folks. Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. right here live on YouTube. Now, right now, Friday Night Live, I'm with the preparedmind.club. I'm with subscribestar.com, all of our Prepared Mind premium sponsors. The premium is huge. Huge. I actually have this. This is actually a skyscraper with a double corner office. You guys give me so much money. I'm not getting rich doing this. Your $2 donations and people who do that, just fantastic. It's keeping the lights on. It keeps us going. It pays the bills. It keeps Spam and tuna fish in the pantry. We can't do it without you guys. And I want to thank you. There is no skyscraper. There is no window office in the corner. I'm actually broadcasting out of the bunker. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much. Let's do this. I'm curious to see the first thing that comes from your guys' side of the screen. Who wants to step up first? Who's got something they want to discuss? Mr. Ooman. And it is Ooman. He says, shocker. Sit back, everybody. Get ready for this one. The Centers for Disease Control announced that we can now treat cerveza bug like the flu. I'm fucking shocked. I am absolutely stunned that they would say that. Four years ago, March of 2020, the federal government, Dr. Scumbag, lying sack of shit, demonic little fucker, Anthony Fauci, scared the entire world into thinking that cerveza bug, which is now to be treated like the flu, cerveza bug was going to kill everyone. 4 out of 5 people. 7 out of 8 people. 2 out of 3 people. Grandma especially was susceptible. Grandpa could die any second. We have to stay in our homes and literally lock the fuck down. It was so bad. You couldn't go to the beach. You couldn't go to the park. You couldn't go to the store. You had to walk in single fucking lines, 6 feet apart. If you don't obey, wear 3 or 4 masks. We'll kick you out. We'll arrest you. We'll give you fines. I remember fucking Hawaii required anyone going there to lock down in your hotel room for 2 fucking weeks before you could come out. And then you still couldn't go to the fucking beach. You still couldn't socialize. Restaurants were still closed. Who the fuck is going to spend that kind of money to go to some place where you're treated like a fucking criminal, where you have to lock yourself up? And if you didn't do that, they would arrest you and fine you $5,000 because of what is now being considered the fucking flu, which you and I have all known for these 4 years since they started that shit. And here we are. But I'm not done. Fuck Fauci, Dr. Birx, old Scarf Birx, the guy who wanted to be C. Everett Koop, but he was like a discount version. Every last one of these television talking head jackasses. Every fucking doctor that stood up and got censored, silenced, and fired even for daring to speak up and say, this isn't what they say it is. It's not that bad. How about the doctors that said you can treat this with hydroxychloroquine, which is totally safe, been used for malaria treatment for 7 fucking decades, 70 years. Evil bad. If you said HCQ, if you said hydroxychloroquine, you were not only silenced, you were removed from YouTube and given a 2-week fucking penalty. If you said ivermectin, aka horse paste is what I called it, same thing. No. Turned out fucking life-saving. For those who were extremely susceptible and had weakened immune systems, who were most at risk from dying from cerveza bug or actually any other flu, cold, illness. People with weakened immune systems were the ones it took out. The rest of us did not need to be locked down. Why is name redacted on the screw? Anyways, look, folks, now they're saying it's just a flu. But even though all of that other stuff passed, and then they came out with the Jim Jones juice, and I'm on a fucking tear here, man. They came out and they said, if you don't take it, you're an evil, anti-American bastard, and you're killing grandma and children. You have to get the Jim Jones juice. And then people started taking the Jim Jones juice, and they were more susceptible. They were told, you're even more susceptible to getting the cerveza bug. But it's not your fault. It's other people who refuse to get the Jim Jones juice that are going to make you sick, even though you're vaccinated and you should be safe. But you're unsafe because people out there. And now it's okay. It's just a flu. We were shown body bags in hospitals stacking up. We were told crematoriums couldn't keep up. They had triage tents outside of hospitals. They shut down cities, locked people in their fucking homes. Only people who were essential were allowed out. And now it's just the fucking flu. Name redacted says they are now marketing a combo test for flu and COVID. Name redacted says, I think it's Walgreens or CVS, but it's just like Big Orange said. It's a goddamn flu. Big Orange is continuing to give left-wing retards, socialist dopes, communist ingrates, and fascist fools. He's giving them all fits. Good. Good. He needs to keep doing that. He needs to keep being Trump. Big Orange. Big Orange. All right. Well, it is Free for All Friday, and this is an unpaid product endorsement. Coffee Company. This particular blend is called America's Fighters. They're not paying me a nickel to do this, folks. Not paying me a nickel to do this. This coffee is a salute to strength and unity with our coffee. Coffee AF. America's Fighters, but AF. A 6-bean blend that pays homage to the 6 branches of the United States Armed Forces. The United States Marine Corps, United States Army, United States Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force. Very nice. These are some patriotic people, folks. I want you to support them if you can, and if you drink coffee. They gave me enough coffee to last me a couple of weeks, but I think it's worth buying their coffee and storing it for shit hitting the fan. You can take 6 of these bags, put them in a large Ziploc bag, suck all the air out of them, and keep them extra fresh. Anyways, once again, the cough-fee-fee.com company. I'm not affiliated with them. We have a discount code, which I think is preparedmind20. Shit, Jolene sent that to me. What did I do with that? You can tell I'm completely prepared. Here it is. Prepared 10, all caps. Prepared 10 will get you a 10% discount off of everything at coffeefee.com. All right, enough of that. Once again, I just want to see people be successful. That's all I want. Prepared 10. Thank you, Uman, for putting that up. That's terrific of you. I really do appreciate it. I want to support patriots and patriotism. I want to support those who value the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. I had an idea today as I was driving along and being pissed off about everything. I thought there's going to come a point, and I think I'll be carrying a larger printed Declaration of Independence, and I will assign my name to it. Someone said I signed my name really big today, like John Hancock. And I was like, it's because I admire what the man did. Let me just tell you a little about John Hancock. He was the richest man in the United Colonies. They weren't the United States yet, but they were colonies. John Hancock was the richest man. He funded and supported the revolution out of his own pocket. And he signed the Declaration first and foremost in the center, very large, because he wanted the King of England to be able to read his name without putting on his spectacles, his glasses. Basically, it was a giant fuck you, King George. John Hancock. So, I'm going to need to print off a Declaration of Independence, and I will affix my name to it. Very large. And there's going to come a point where I apologize to you, Mr. Law Enforcement, you, Mr. Government Official, you, bureaucrat. You have zero control or authority over me. You have violated our rights of the Constitution. You have shown yourself to be an enemy of the state and an enemy of the people. And you are an ally of one of the greatest tyrants ever, King George. Take a look at the Declaration of Independence. You will not be arresting me or harassing me today. In fact, I will go one step further and say people should have a signed copy of the Declaration of Independence. And when you go to arrest public officials, now I'm not recommending anyone do anything unlawful or dangerous or harmful, but hear me out. Shit is hit the fan. There are hot spots everywhere. There's Mad Max zones. There are gang lords running parts of cities. If we have idiots like Gavin Newsom, if you have idiots like Mayor Adams of New York City, fat ass sacks of shit like Prickster in Illinois, they need to be arrested and removed from power. And the Declaration of Independence is your document that says it is your right, it is your duty as the people of the United States of America to remove bad government, evil government that violates our rights. There is no excuse. There is no special time. There is no one-time forgiveness. There is no emergency that allows them to remove your rights. They need to be taken out, and that is your authority. Carry it. Carry the sheet and say, this is my authority. You're under arrest. That is going to happen, folks. If the Declaration was good enough in 1776, by fucking golly, it's good enough in 2024, 25, 26, or whatever the year is. The justification is the same. The authority stands. And you know who's most afraid of that? The government. It's bureaucrats, it's elected officials, judges, mayors, governors. They're scared to death of you. Same with police, law enforcement, state troopers, feds, the FBI. They're afraid of you and me and all of us. Once again, I am not calling for insurrection. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for law breaking. If you want to hear those sorts of things, go listen to a fucking Democrat or an Antifa or a BLM member. I'm saying you have rights and you need to stick up for them. Get ready. This day is going to come. It's going to come. And if you have that sheet, the Declaration of Independence, you can read the words right there. I am authorized as a free American, as a free human being, to take action in the defense of myself and others to provide and ensure liberty comes first. Fuck all the communists out there, folks. They're trying to convince you that you don't have rights, that free speech has limits, that the Second Amendment doesn't say what it says, that the Fourth and Fifth Amendment can be just negated, that the 10th Amendment, that went by a long time ago. They all matter, folks. They're still real. They are rights. You can ignore the 800-pound gorilla in the middle of the room, but it is still there. And that gorilla is the government. And it's shitting all over us. And it stinks. Mr. Ooman, who is next? Orlando, hey, brother. He says, John, yesterday you asked where are all the Americans are at. You're talking to them. Biden, bitch McConnell, or anyone else isn't going to help us. We have to help ourselves. No choice will be given. Did you write that when I started my little rant just now? Or are we just simpatico? I think that's it. All of us seem to be rather simpatico. We seem to understand that it's us. We are the Americans. The soft-bellied, thin-skinned, liberal fucksticks. They're not Americans. They're wanting grandpa or daddy government to take care of them. Same with all the ghetto rats and their welfare. Same with all the illegal aliens. They want government to take care of them. They're not Americans. They're slaves. They're on the plantation. They may as well be picking cotton, but they aren't even required to do that. They're just given the money and taken care of. They're given the finest of hovels to live in. Well, unless you're an illegal alien, then you get a hotel, sometimes a 3 or 4 star. Anyways, I agree with you, Mr. Orlando. No one's going to help us. We will be helping ourselves. We will have no choice. But I really recommend printing off copies of the Declaration of Independence. Make sure they're clearly legible. I would recommend signing your name to it so you have a stake in it. Hell, print one off and have other people sign it as well. Do you believe this to be true? Is this document good, accurate? Does it prescribe action that needs to be taken? Find out how strong people are, folks, up here. If they won't sign the Declaration of Independence, which was signed by some of the greatest patriots this country has ever known, if they won't sign that, then they're not American. I'll fucking put my name on that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. The time is coming, and no choice will be given to us. Well, let me. No choice will be given to those who unconditionally want freedom. There's no condition for freedom. It's not like, well, I'll be a slave for 5 years, but after that, you have to let me be free, okay? No conditions. Freedom. Only those who are compromised and willing to compromise themselves don't want to fight for freedom. They're dumbasses. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Orlando. And now speaking of dumbasses, President Joe Biden, who is proven to be a bumbling, fumbling, dumb ass. He's been told because he's such a fool and knave. I don't know if he's naive, but he's a fucking knave. He's so bad that he can't and shouldn't be held accountable for his violations of national security. That dumb son of a bitch, Joe Biden, is calling people who question climate change, he's calling them Neanderthals. And he was down at the border when he gave this speech. If you're at the border, shouldn't you be talking about the border crisis, not fucking climate change? Don't worry, though, folks. There's an issue. There's an issue with what's going on with climate change and critical race theory, etc. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So Biden wants to call patriots, people who think for themselves, wants to call us Neanderthals. That's like children telling Einstein, you're a math failure. Joe should be directing his attention to his own fractured glass house and stop throwing stones at us. He is not inspiring confidence, folks, with other Democrats. He's not creating a stronger voter base. Joe is making Trump look more and more desirable by more and more Americans. And he is making America sympathetic to reverting back to our former goodness and greatness. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, folks, it's failing and it's being rejected widely. Let's talk about this now while I'm here. Right? It's failing on its own, and laws like what Florida has, where diversity, equity, inclusion is banned if it's funded by state or federal funds. The green energy push is losing steam, even though Joe Biden is saying if you don't believe in it, you're a Neanderthal. Well, the Neanderthal mega banks like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Chase and others, the mega banks are saying that the Green New Deal, the green energy crap is unsustainable and it's ineffective, and they're pulling their support. They're taking their funding away for those green energy initiatives. Wind and solar, not going to get it done. There's a lot of information out there now about nuclear. It's going to become a partisan issue shortly because they want us to not have enough energy. Now, woke is causing massive business failures, folks. Even Mark Cuban, a dedicated fascist communist Democrat, he's admitted to woke failure for himself. Though he pumped all his cash and his support behind it, it's failing. And Americans are sick of freakish drag queens, perverted child grooming teachers, violent murderous trans testicles, and monkeypox infested orgy loving gays. We've had it with this shit. Speak up. There is nothing wrong with criticizing people who are destroying our fucking country and leading us down the fucking road to hell in a handbasket. SHTF. Stand up, fight back, say what needs to be said. Mr. Uman, it is Free for All Friday, which means there it is. Everyone gets to jump on in as we go. Chin Music says, if your insurrection lasts more than 4 hours, consult your doctor immediately. That's a play on Viagra. And if you have an erection that lasts longer than 4 hours, if I were to call for an insurrection, I am certain government officials would be knocking on the hatch to my bunker. Is there a guy named John around here? We just need to talk to him. I haven't called for insurrection. I will call for standing up for your rights, protecting the country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Something us veterans swore an oath to do. Every American, every child going up and going through school should be taught that boys have penises and girls have vaginas. That's number one. Number two, when you get done going pee, wash your hands. Boys use the boys' bathroom, girls use the girls' bathroom. That's it. Let's see, what else should kids be learning in school? Oh, yeah, the Declaration is fact and truth. The Constitution is the law of the land, and Democrats are the enemy of freedom and people. They ought to be teaching that. Good God, folks. I can't imagine being a kid today and going to school and going, what are you talking about, teacher? What the fuck are you talking about? Pushing the Chinese example of communism. Oh, great. Yeah, 50 million people murdered by their own government. Great idea. But don't worry, folks. Don't worry. The United States of America, Washington, D.C., all the Democrats, all the perverted fucks in D.C. and every big city, don't worry. They have a plan for you. Let me give you a little taste of it. Let's start with Judge Engoron. Remember that little schmarmy, schmalzy weenie of a judge who wanted to, penalize Trump, deny Trump, ruin Trump, screw Trump over? Well, he did the best he could, and he did a great job. He was at a gym, folks, and he got caught creeping on women, staring at women, right, who ran around in their bootylicious outfits. Judge Engoron is what, fucking 70? Dude, leave the young ladies alone. But that's what these creeps are about, folks. That's what they're about. And by the way, James O'Keefe, who did this trick, got Engoron to reveal what a creepy little perverted lying sack of shit he is on camera. Yeah. O'Keefe has been kicked out of this chain of gyms for life. It's just like he can't go to another gym. Like there's not 5 dozen different gymnasiums out there that are super chains, and then all the private gyms. Plus, you can buy a fucking gym for your own house. You can buy a gymnasium that'll fit in your closet now. The point is he got Judge Engoron to expose himself without, thankfully, exposing his twig and berries. Now, back to why Democrats are so dangerous. Judge Engoron let us know that, yeah, his idea of a good time is creeping on women. Folks, in SHTF, in shit hitting the fan, when it gets nasty, 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 and they start taking control of the country and just completely denying the Constitution and saying, well, we have martial law. We have emergency rule. Democrat officials will treat women like sex toys. Just like Judge Engoron wants to creep on them and he wants to destroy Republicans, right? They're going to treat women like sex objects, sex toys, worse than any time in history. Doubt me not. Under Nazi rule, under communist Soviet rule, any government official, if they wanted a woman, they'd take them. So women, understand this. You better fucking fight or you will be required to obey people like Judge Engoron or Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. And, well, us guys are not off the hook. Don't worry. The bureaucratic gays will demand men perform for them too. Because that's how they think. Everything. They call you a racist because they're racist. They call Republican men toxic masculine perverts. It is they who are the toxic perverts. Everything is projection with these people, folks. And Engoron is a fucking slimy douche. Now, let us do this. Let us take a look at what you guys want to talk about. Name Redacted says, need to go back to the founding pages and delete the rest. I understand. I agree completely. When we have our next revolution / declaration of freedom and liberty, before they recreate the Declaration and before they recreate the Constitution and do a reset, they also need to take out the Federalist Papers and go through every one of those arguments so everybody understands the purpose behind the Declaration and the reason the fighting happened. I don't just want to go to sleep one day and wake up and go, wow, they signed another Constitution. How great is that? Without the government understanding that they need to be completely limited, hogtied, restricted, kept away from our rights. Our rights are supreme. Government has privilege. We are supreme and sovereign. Government is the servant. We have freedoms and liberties. They have very limited authority to conduct government business. In the last 250 years, they have figured out how to reverse everything and make us feel like we're supposed to serve them. Fuck that. And as far as your comment right here, Name Redacted, delete the rest. That's right. Every law written after the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, they need to take it to a fucking giant incinerator and burn all those laws. And let's just start again at the very beginning with our basic rights and a basic government structure. We do not need statutes and reams of government rules that they're going to try and say apply to us. We should and will be allowed to travel. Own property in a allodial title. Own your car outright. No registration needed. Regis means king. Registration means that belongs to the king. Your car belongs to the king. And if you want to drive down El Camino Real, the King's Road, then you have to regis your car with the king and ask permission to use his roads. Bullshit. Roads belong to the public. They are the common way. And they're there for traveling, which is a right. Not driving, which is having people pay. If you're an Uber driver, you're a fucking driver. If you're in your car transporting yourself, your personal property, the government has no authority to restrict you at all. But you try and enforce that today, number one, you'll be dragged out of your car and beaten to fucking death with a baton. And if you live through that, you'll be dragged in front of a judge who will then throw the book at you, take your license, impound your fucking car, put you in jail, and ruin your life. That's the power of their little badge, their little vag badge. But if you hold up the Declaration of Independence and go, you ever heard of this thing, motherfuckers? It's go time. Go time is coming. Thank you, name redacted. Let's move on. Hang on to that thought, Mr. Ullman, please. I want to get this. Federal agents have arrested a reporter. The reporter's name is Steve Baker. What did Steve Baker do wrong? He reported on the January 6th protests, and he was challenging the official bullshit story about it being an insurrection, about patriots becoming violent, about patriots wanting to take over the country, as if you can do that by occupying an empty building. So they're arresting him. Now, before he was told he had to turn himself in, Steve Baker had a tweet that he put out, on X, Twitter. And this is what he wrote. My attorney has just been notified by the FBI that I'm going to be charged by the Justice Department, the DOJ, for my journalistic efforts on January 6th. I have to self-surrender on Tuesday. Charges are yet unknown. Stay tuned for more information to follow this afternoon. Unbelievable, folks. Fuck you, FBI. You are not the law. You are public servants, period. Folks, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the White House have officially become the Nazi Gestapo death squad. The Gestapo, folks, the secret police, the Stasi, the KGB, whatever horrifying police name you can do it, that is the FBI. And coming soon, bullets to the back of the head in the middle of the street if you question the president, the power of DC, the official narrative, their bullshit story. You question that, they'll come to your house, drag you in the middle of the street, put a gun to your head, and fucking cap you right there. And then leave you in the street for everyone to see as an example. That's how they operate. Here's one for you, Washington, D.C. Go fuck yourself. Cowards, chicken shit, scaring women and children. That's their goal, folks, to control us. Why don't you declare that you are unlawfully acting in these arrests and challenge us, the people, to take you out of power? Why not just openly declare war instead of pretending like you're enforcing viable, realistic laws? They're hiding behind their vag badges. They're pretending to be real when they're not. All the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., in my opinion, are chicken shit and too cowardly to admit what they are. They're too cowardly, folks, to admit how they violate our Constitution, all our protections, and violate all of the limitations that were placed on them. They're fucking cowards. I haven't done anything wrong. Do they have a right to arrest me? Can they just haul me down to a police station to ask me some questions? No. They can invent now in their head crimes that they think I might have committed and use that as reasonable suspicion and probable cause. That's bullshit, and they know it. They can lie to a judge and get him to sign off on a warrant for my arrest for crimes I didn't commit, just because they attest to the fact that they think I may have. It's all bullshit. That's what they did in 1770, 1771, 1772, 1773, 1774, 1775, and into 1776, when the men in this country finally stood up and said, enough of this bullshit. And they signed the Declaration of Independence and said, no more. No more. All right, Uman, what do we got? Uman says, whatever will all the lawyers do? The unemployable levels will skyrocket. Oh, yeah, if we get rid of all the rules and all of the statutes and all of the horseshit and all of the codes, well, the lawyers would all line up at government building, Mr. Uman, and say, hey, we got a brand new constitution here. Let us help you start writing some laws. We need more laws because we got rid of all the laws. That's exactly what they would do. Oh, my God, society's going to fall apart. Folks, I go through every day. I wake up, 0 dark 30, pile into the prepared vehicle, whichever one it is, and I drive and I operate and I work and I interact with humans. I travel down roads. And I never once think, I better obey the law. I need to know what the law is so I can obey it. I know what criminal behavior is when I'm hurting other people or stealing their property. Other than that, I don't need their laws to get through the day and not piss people off. It's unfucking believable. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Uman. Fucking lawyers. There was a time, folks, pre-Constitution, during colonial America, when colonists were there, and they had, that's right, colonial landowners had both white and black slaves, folks. How dare you? Yeah, it's true. They're called indentured servants. White slaves. Do I get reparations since I know my family came here under William Penn in the 1700s? Shouldn't I get I need $1 million. Oh, man, get on the horn. Call my lawyer. Send him to D.C. I want him to go down there and get me some reparations, man. My ancestors were slaves. Thank you. He's like, hello, lawyer? Get that John some money now. Pronto. All right. Folks, I tell you, when things go to shit, okay, we're in SHTF. All we have to do is get really bad, like SHTF, hotspots of terror, like in 2020. Get this. In Haiti, which is an island nation south of the United States of America, a Haitian gang leader named Barbecue. I'm not making this shit up. Barbecue, though, has vowed to arrest ministers of state, that is to say, legislators, and he's vowed to arrest the police chief. And he is going to prevent the prime minister of Haiti. He said, you're not returning to the country. I find this fucking fascinating. Barbecue is not going to allow government to operate. Folks, in America, we have 15 million brand new illegal aliens, many of whom are violent, criminal scumbags. Do you or do you not think that American cities are going to have gang lords, much like Haiti has a gang lord named Barbecue? Now, interestingly, Barbecue does not work for the government down there. Barbecue is the government. I don't know how their law and order system is holding up. I don't know whether their people know how to behave the way I know how to behave on a day-to-day basis. Do they need Barbecue to explain to them how to treat others nicely? Is Haiti going to become an anarchistic nightmare and time bomb that's going to go off? Or will Barbecue, through his whatever power structure he has, going to maintain law and order in Haiti? Why aren't police going after Barbecue? Could it be because the Haitian gangs are better armed than the police down there? Well, I know that up here in the United States of America, the people are better armed than police and sheriffs and state troopers and the feds. What would happen if the big cities were taken over by gang leaders like Barbecue? Would they arrest legislators and police and rich people and important people and say, you know what, fuck you people, you blew your chance? Now, Uman says, I bet they'd be going after him if his name was Donut. Fuck. That's a good donut. Be like, I think Donut would be the moniker that a gang leader who was once a law enforcement official would name. Folks, there's going to become government officials who want to be gang leaders. Oh, it's going to be exciting as fuck when this thing falls apart. I'm not saying it'll be fun. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. But it's going to be an interesting thing, right? As the saying goes, may you live in interesting times. Oh, we're living in interesting times when the government wants to tell people, yeah, go ahead and turn children into sex toys. Go ahead and groom away. Enjoy. Fucking weird, sick bastards. Now, Mr. Uman, have we got some more out there? What do we got rolling? I've got a ton of shit to talk about. Mikey G says this, though. Are we going to get blasted by Apophis or not? You'd think our renowned scientists could tell us for sure by now. If I know who Apophis is, that is a large asteroid. I believe Apophis is like a 10-kilometer wide asteroid. It's been discussed for decades now. I believe Graham Hancock, in his book about Mars, discussed near-Earth objects. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not, but you referred to our renowned scientists. Yeah, science. Trust the science. Remember when we were told to trust it? You're going to take me right back to Cerveza, Bugman. I don't trust these fucking scientists. I don't care anymore. Fuck them. I don't need a climatologist to tell me it's raining outside and then it's going to rain some more and then it's going to get hot and then it's going to rain and then it's going to get hot and then it's going to rain and the sun will come out. Sometimes there'll be clouds. No shit. I had no idea that was going to be the way it goes. Thanks, man. Oh, and if it rains too much, it creates floods? Really? Had no idea. What a concept. Oh, okay, so there's asteroids up there somewhere. And every now and then they fall. Sometimes they're really big and they fuck shit up. I don't need scientists to try scaring me every other fucking day. Oh my God, we're all going to die from a pandemic. Oh, it's just a flu. Oh, thanks, renowned scientists. Yeah, I don't believe any of them. And doctors have ruined their reputation. Fuck the doctors. The nurses. Last couple of days, a friend of mine has let me know how hospital, doctors, nurses, child protective services, CPS, and social workers have harassed the shit out of their family because they refuse to accept, acknowledge, and obey doctors demanding horse shit from them. Don't go to fucking doctors, folks. You go to a hospital to die. If you've got a physician that you need to see, test them. Ask them right off the bat. Ask them about the Jim Jones juice right off the bat. What do they think of it? And I want the fucking truth. I used to talk to my physician that way. Dr. Greg. I would ask him questions. That's bullshit, man. I don't think so. I want the truth. Tell me the fucking truth. I've done the same with fucking priests. I've done the same with police. Tell me the fucking truth. Quit fucking lying to me and bullshitting me. You know what the truth is from cops, folks? They really don't give a fuck. They don't care. Now, there may be some that are dedicated to their job. A lot of them I talk to, they don't give a fuck about the law, the statutes. They're just doing their job for a paycheck. That's all they care about. That's it. Anyways, thank you, Mikey G. I think you're talking about an asteroid. Let's do this. Let's have some fun. I want to call on these Pfizer file people. Darcy T, thank you again. And she says, 41-year-old woman is in the middle of a flight. Folks, you know how flights are. You sit in a chair and you drink a soda and you eat some fucking crackers. No more peanuts because of peanut allergies. Fuck. If you got peanut allergies, don't eat peanuts. Don't eat anything unless you prepare it because you could die anywhere from fucking peanuts. Anyways, we get pretzels now, right? Little crackers. A woman is sitting in her chair in a plane in the middle of the flight, probably drinking a nice little Coca-Cola or a 7-Up or a fucking wine spritzer. Dies. Suddenly dies. 41-year-old woman suddenly dies. I guess that's pretty common these days. Heart attack, see you later, dead for no reason. 41 years old, folks. 41 years old. Thank you, Darcy T. And we've got an update also. Lady Gabriella Windsor. Her husband died from a catastrophic head wound. What? Where the fuck did that come from? Yep. The apparently the royals are having a problem staying alive. We don't know if it was suicide or murder, but apparently he's suffering from a very large head wound, and then he died. Just letting you know that it happens. Even the super rich, wealthy bastards, yep, they die a lot. Ooh, man, yay or nay? Which way are we going? We're doing this. Ooh, man says the Federal Reserve, the Fed, which is not federal. It's a private bank owned by other large European banking conglomerates. The Federal Reserve seems to have invented another new word. Surprise! Remember when they invented quantitative easing? Now, this time they have a word, and they're working on it, and I've heard it. I've heard it, man. Disinflation. And when I hear something like disinflation, I'm like, disinflation here or dat inflation there? Anyways, disinflation, which apparently like deflation, but disinflation comes without massive job losses, which reduces demand and drives prices down. The reason they create all these words like misinformation, disinformation, because they can't call what you're saying a lie. They make up and manufacture words to confuse us and make themselves sound smarter. Deflation is deflation. I mean, we created our own word, shrinkflation. But yeah, disinflation. They're trying to hide what's going on out there, folks. They're trying to hide that we're fucked. Massive job losses are occurring, but people are running out of money as it is. And it's becoming more and more noticeable, worse and worse. People are not buying products, so product prices are coming down. That's disinflation. Well, the things that matter are inflating still. Food, gas, insurance. Have you tried to get car insurance or house insurance or life insurance? Have you tried to get health insurance? Unbelievable. Fucking rough stuff, folks. Rough. I mentioned earlier that Florida, the state of Florida, has a rule, a law, a statute that says if you're getting government money, right, you're not allowed to have diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the University of Florida, folks, has fired all of their DEI employees. Folks, they closed the DEI department. Done. Closed. The war on woke, folks, can be won. I want you to go into this weekend knowing we can win, and there are signs and evidence that we can win this, that we can beat these fucking idiots. Like I said, the woke people are going to the wayside. The fruitcake LGB, we're sick and tired of their violence and murderousness. Push back, fight, speak up. Your number one weapon, your mouth. The tool, what loads it, is your brain. Fill your brain. Chance favors the prepared mind. Right? Get prepared because they're going to cause trouble. Right? The war on woke can be won. Free speech is the key, the tool, the weapon to persuading others. So speak up. People are waking up. Keep talking to them. Keep telling them that ain't good enough. Being awake isn't enough. I wake up every day. Yeah, well, do you get up and go to work to make your money, or do you just wake up and that's good enough? They send you money in bed. Well, unless you're a welfare fucking maniac, you have to go to work. Get up and go to work for freedom. That's it. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi, Godspeed. I'll see you Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will get it on. Until then, adios, muchachos. Get prepared.